Hello all, good afternoon. Welcome to the Learning Library Lunchtime Talk. We are still admitting people at this point. So as Mr. Boone has said, just relax and we wait for more to join before we actually start.
Okay. Okay, let's get it started. Okay, if you are seeing my slides, just give me a thumbs up or you give me a 3 in the chat box so that I can see that you are seeing my screen. So this is actually the disclaimer. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Chu. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, that's nice. Thank you, Evelyn. Thumbs up. Okay, so today what we are talking is actually to be a millennial landlord and how to maximize your rental property returns. Okay, it's a totally different concept from whatever you are listening to the property talks that is happening often in the market today. Most of them will talk about buying and selling. So this one is actually talking about how to become a so-called millennial landlord, because nowadays not only properties, you also can own REITs, you can own different type of assets that is actually generating passive income that is considered you as a landlord. Okay, in the olden days, of course, you only have those land, and those landlords will actually collect rental from those farmer that is using the land. But nowadays, you have lots of different type of scenario coming up, and we not only maximizing property, we also need to maximize different capital assets in the market today. So let's begin our talk today. Okay, first of all, of course, is the disclaimer itself. Give me a second. Okay. So what we are looking at, disclaimer, of course, this one is not selling anything. We are actually presenting you information, and of course, disclaimer on that is especially caveat emptor. Okay, regarding myself, okay, I have more than 15 years of experience in several leading real estate agency, and what we are doing is actually leading a team of more than 80 real estate salesperson. Oftentimes, we actually do some training for our agents, and also we have been doing these CPD courses under the CEA Act. Okay, so lots of time we have started off with rental, and we serve lots of corporate landlord and also tenants. So we get the insight of how this landlord and also how this tenant react during the case itself. So lots of case study we'll be going through. So the next one will be, so house rule. Okay, most important to participate, enjoy, and have fun. Please do not be stressed out and just enjoy. Okay, all these slides will be recorded. We actually will be recording down this Zoom seminar itself. Later on, they will be put to the public so that you actually can recap. So you just sit back and relax. So, oh yeah, the other thing, just get ready your handphone, just in case there's some of the information that's actually given to you by a QR code. You need to scan and you actually can read up more information on that. Okay. So most important, enjoy and have fun. Okay, I just want to get to know more of our audience itself. First is either you are an inspiring landlord or you are a new landlord. Maybe you have just gotten your key to your BUC unit, or you are already a very experienced landlord that have 3 property, 4 property. You have done this property cycle many, many times. So if let's say you are inspiring landlord, maybe you can type a 1 for me. If let's say you are a new landlord, maybe you have just gotten your key to your new property, you just type a 2. And if let's say you are those that is experienced, you have gotten your property rented out many, many times, you can give me a 8. Lots of inspiring landlords. Huh? That's good. That's good. Thank you, Tam. Thank you, TM. Thank you, ZL. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, so the thing is very simple. everybody come from different school of thoughts. And nowadays, I think in the market, lots of them will be talking about buying and selling. That means once you buy this unit, after a few years, you get the capital appreciation and you sell off. Our concept is actually slightly different. We want landlord to hold on to the property as long as you can to generate a passive income. So to create the wealth that is actually given by the property. Okay, so it's something different. Or you can say this is back to the prime so-called the prime objective of a property purchase. Okay, nowadays it become two-figure and lots of agents or lots of analysis is using figures to convince you. So what we are doing is very pragmatic effort. What I show you is today market, what you can do, just twist and turn, and you actually can improve your returns on your property. Okay, let's get going. Okay, first content. Today we'll be doing several things. I will just try to squeeze in as much as we can within the 1 hour time frame. So rental equation, URA statistic, interest rate, loan to value, upcoming trend, CPF usage, upcoming trends, and just a repeat on that. Question and answer itself. Okay. So first one up, next is rental equation. So this is something that I actually come up with. So what you can see, the main thing about landlord returns is your installment plus your rental will actually equal to the landlord returns. So how much your installment? Take example, is about $5,000. Your rental is coming in at about $4,000. So you're actually getting a negative return, so as to speak. But all these installment and rental, they actually come with a different component. Installment will actually be affected by interest rate. As you know, today interest rate have went up quite a fair bit. You can see today the fixed rate is coming up to 3%. That will actually belongs to the macro. Okay, that will become the global market, which actually the whole world, something that we can't control. Okay, similarly to rental, supply and demand. Okay, nowadays supply is very limited. Rental demand have went up a lot, and that will belongs to the micro, which also is the local market. So once all this is the external factor that is actually affecting your landlord returns itself. So two components, one is the installment, second is the rental. That will actually comes back to the landlord returns. Okay, I won't give you those very boring figures that how many percent rental yield, 3%, 4%. It's something different. This is actually the main concept that's inside the G's that's affecting all the landlord returns. So just remember for installment plus rental and interest rate, supply and demand. Okay. So let's go back to the supply, which is also the macro market. First, we need to understand how's the market performing, what's the supply, and what we can see is from this first quarter 2022 real estate statistic, the take-up rate, the rental index have went up again. Okay, 4.2%. The rental have went up. This is the overall market for the rental. Second, the vacancy is going down. So supply and demand, this will be including the price. The demand have went up fair bit. Okay, due to the opening of the COVID situation, lots of aspects coming in. Some of the aspects cannot go back. So they still need to stay on, and the prices for the rental have keep going up. So the vacancy rate have been kept very low. Okay. Second, this will be actually the index for the private residential properties. So for those landed have went up fair bit. For those non-landed in the CCR, RCR, all these have went up. So all these statistics can be shown. You can find it in the URA website. So the latest one for the second quarter this year, they will be releasing next week or the week after. So you can actually see the latest for the second quarter. So look out for that. You need to know the supply. You need to know how's the market performing, so that for you to make a better choice whenever you have a situation that you need to make decision whether you want to rent it out or you want to increase the rent or this. Okay. So this is the most important one, I think, for everyone to see interest rate. Okay, I will actually go through some of the interest rate package by the banks. So this is the one that we have been talking. Fixed rental mortgage have been going up the roof, almost 3%. Who have seen rental rates, fixed rate mortgage at 3% before? If you have seen this situation before, you type a 1 for me. For those inspiring landlords, have you seen 3% interest rate before? If you have seen this type of one, if you have not seen anything like this, you keep seeing 0.5, 0.8, 1%, that's the few years back. So who have seen in the very old days that 3% interest rate? If you have seen this type of one for me, so the more reply I can see from you, I know where we are and how can we improve on this. Yep. So if you have seen interest rate hitting 3% or even more, just type a 1 for me in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, can. So very seldom anybody have not seen 3% before. Type a 8 in the chat box. This is the first time you see interest rate hit 3%. So you type a 8. Thank you. I think we are in a situation that lots of us have not seen interest rate so high. And this is the first time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Chu. Thank you, TM. So this is the first time we are seeing 3% interest rate, and this might be going up even more. As you can see that there's some in the big picture, US inflation is going up and they are trying to increase the interest rate just to tame it down. Okay, so what we can report is just look out for some of the highlight that I actually point to you. So you can see this Tuesday, June 28th, the red color box that I have highlighted. Foreigner banks here have suspended the fixed rate option. Okay, just take note and analyze yourself. However, the 3 local banks told BT that their fixed rate package are still on the table. Okay, foreigner bank have already suspended the fixed rate. Okay, so you think about that. Okay, if you are taking a bank loan, which bank would you be more keen to work with, or you can take the loan with, local or foreigner? Okay, up to you to decide. This one I just highlight to you. You just need to do some brainstorming. Okay, second one, on the Thursday, 30th June. So the fixed rate make it easier for homeowner to do household budgeting. Okay, if let's say there's a fixed sum to pay every month. Okay, for landlord, would you prefer a fixed amount, or you can say that you prefer certainty over flexibility? Okay, whenever you want to pay your installment, would you want very flexible scheme, or would you want something that is very stable? You can anticipate every month how much you're going to pay, how much you're going to receive at your rental end, so that you can get a better rental returns. So there's some things that you need to really ask yourself. Some people just want to go for the lowest interest rate and have the flexibility. But once you have the flexibility, banks also have the flexibility to increase rental rates, the mortgage rate anytime. So this is something you need to really ponder about. Okay, similarly for the mortgage sales, they have not seen a spike yet. Okay, because robust Singapore rental is a cushion for the rental shock. We need to see maybe for the next 3 to 6 months whether all this plays out or not. Because now rentals have been going up broad-based here and there. During the last year talk that we have mentioned, HDB went up the roof. Currently, it's actually remaining at that level. We have not seen a lot of Malaysian went back to their country, terminating their lease. Some of them still prefer to stay in Singapore. But how high the rental can sustain, we need to see at this moment for the past 3 months what will happen. Okay, and first time for Singapore home loan, the UOB have went up to 3%. Okay, so you can see on the left side I have highlighted there's 17 straight month rental have been going up. Okay, and it's one of the highest itself. Okay, broad-based rental went up, so it's actually proving a cushion for the mortgage sales. But just bear in mind, mortgage sales strategy now have become one of the marketing activity for agency. So sometimes doesn't mean that if the bank could not sell or the bank take back mortgage, they do a mortgage sale. Sometimes it's actually due to, that will be the auction, auction itself. So you can see auction is one of the activity. Mortgage sales have not spiked yet, so it's a different entity. So if let's say you've seen a lot of auction sale is just one of the activity that is marketing activity done by agency. So do not mix both together. If you see a lot of auction, it does not mean it's a mortgage sales. So far, so good? Okay, let me know if I'm, let's say, going too fast itself. Okay, so Singapore home loan rates have hit 3% with UOB move. Okay, so the next one, I will actually come back to this one. So you see one of the guys that have been interviewed, he actually have a fixed 3 years, 1.75 with DBS for the 3 years loan, fixed rate. So he actually can plan out things to do. And once the loan is expired, he actually can shop around and get a new fixed rate. So all these people tends to be more certain. They want certainty in their monthly mortgage so that they can plan ahead rather than they have flexibility, meaning to say fluctuation in the interest rate, different type of rental payment, then this will actually affect their monthly or even their planning itself. Okay, so this is one of the package that actually bring it out from one of the local bank. So they actually have now given 3 type of so-called bank package. First is the floating rates. So you can see first one, they have different type of definition. They actually plug to SORO, 3 months SORO. Or this one will be the fixed deposit home rate, FHR 6. Previously, they used FHR 8 or FHR 12. So nowadays, they actually shorten the period. So now they have fixed rate, fixed FHR 6 or 3 months SORO. So it depending on which benchmark they are using. So there are actually 2 types for you. One is the 2-year, 3 months SORO. The other one is the 2-year fixed with the FHR 6. So if you see the fixed FHR 6, there's actually a 2-year package and also a no lock-in package. But you can see the so-called the plug itself plus 1.3 per annum. So if you are fixed with them, they actually give you a lower rate. But if let's say you are not fixed with them, you are given a 1.75. Have you ever asked yourself why they marketed in this way? Have you ever asked yourself why the banks will always plug in this range and why the SORO is only plus 1? Think about it. Go through your mind and see what's the figure behind. If the banks are here to give you a loan, okay, not for free, they also need to earn their interest back. So if let's say you see the 3 months SORO is only plus 1%, FHR is plus 1.3. So you can see that first thing is, of course, SORO now is 0.772. FHR 6 is 0.75. The SORO is most likely is going up higher and faster so that they can actually just plus 1, they actually can earn back that interest. Similarly for FHR 6 currently is 0.75. It's actually referring to if let's say today you put 1,000 to 9,999, what will be the interest rate, fixed deposit interest rate they will give you? So DBS will give you at this moment give you 0.75. But if let's say you lock in period 2 years with them, they only charge you FHR 6 plus 1.3. But if let's say you are not fixed with them, anytime you can change or you refinance or reprice, they will actually give you a higher interest rate, FHR 6 plus 1.75. So you need to know how to read this figure because it's important for a landlord to know what is your cost and also how does it affect you. Okay, of course, you see the 2-year lock-in, they give you a waiver and also a free conversion after 6 months of the first disbursement so that you have some flexibility on that. So the second one will be this one. Fixed rate package. So all this is a package. All these are example. I'm not selling for DBS. I just want to show you what's the most transparent package in the town now. So all this is actually shown in their website. You can just plug in, you can see their figures. So for fixed rate package, DBS is giving 2 years, 2.75, 3 years, 2.75 also. So they are giving both 2 years and 3 years. So if let's say you are a landlord, would you get the 2 years or would you get the 3 years? If let's say you get the 2 years, you key a 2 for me. If you are getting the 3 years, you just key a 3 for me. Which one would you choose? 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, Chu. Thank you, Mary. Susan, thank you. Nobody, only one of you choose 3. Most of you will choose 2. So there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, everybody must remember this. To me, it's very simple. There's no magic ball no one have the magic ball. Nobody know what will happen. No one seen this epidemics coming. No one see this inflation thing coming. If you have seen this, it's good. Okay, but I think lots of us, this generation or the past generation, have not seen such low interest rate for such a long time. Our father, our grandfather generation, they have seen 5%, 6%, 8% interest rate. We have not seen that before. But what we are seeing, low interest rate of like 0.5 or 1%, they have not seen it also. So we need to be pragmatic. So if let's say today I have a choice of 2 years, 3 years, it depending on situation whether which one you want to get. Okay. No 2.5. They either go by 2 years or 3 years. So fair enough. If let's say you want to get the 2 years, it's okay. 3 years is also okay. But if let's say you make a bet, you think that the market is going, the interest rate is going up even further, why not just get the 3%? It's okay. These three years, just let them charge the 2.75 and you can actually move on. You can sleep soundly at night and you can think of how to mobilize your money around, because this 2.75 3 years is fixed. It's fixed. Your installment figure will be fixed. They can't change it. So everything will be fixed. So let's say the installment is $5,000 and your rental can cover, or you can like 5,500. So you have a passive income of $500. You know what to do with it. Okay, that there will be lots of planning. You can plan ahead. But if let's say today you only get a flexible rate, so anytime the interest went up, your installment also went up, then you understand that there's no chance for you to plan long term. Okay, and the title have said, even the bank also said, designed for customer who prefer stability and certainty in their monthly installment. Okay, I think one of the guru have said, if they can get a 30 years fixed interest rate mortgage, they will just get it, because then they can plan long term. If you're looking at short term, just to get the low interest, just for 1 year, 2 years, I mean that there will be a certain risk. So look out for that. Okay. So even now banks are getting creative. They just want you to get their loan. So what's next? DBS came out with this 2-in-1 home loan. So they are actually having the best of both worlds. Certain figure is fixed to a fixed rate. The other figure is actually fixed to a 2 years lock-in at a floating rate. So this is some of the examples. So you can actually read up or you can check with your banker. Just remember, we are not financial advisor or to give financial advice. So you can just check out with your banker, or you are doing repricing with the same bank, ask them for a rate. Yeah. So this is just one of the examples that we are showing. So enjoy best of both worlds, and this is the similar package that they are giving. Choose a 2 or 3 years fixed rate package. So they are giving the same rental rate, giving the same interest rate, 2.75, 2 years and 3 years. But the other side of the story is they are giving 3-month SORO, 0.75. So I presume this might be one of the better catch for most of the buyer in today's market, especially if they are buying a completed project. So bear in mind, if you are buying a BUC, you buy those new launch, all this, you only can get floating rate, which is, you only can get all these floating rates. You can't get fixed rate. For BUC, those building under construction, which like you buy the new launch, which is very hot now. So everyone will need to get this floating rate. Okay. So only for completed project, you are able to get a fixed rate and also this 2-in-1 package. So you have a choice, 2 years lock-in, 3 months sorrow with 0.75. So you have a mix of both, but just bear in mind that there will be, of course, term and condition, 300,000 and above. So only for completed residential projects. Okay. So far, so good for the bank interest. Okay, we will have lots of cover. Just bear with me. We are going very fast. I mean, it's just a compact. So just remember, always stay updated with the latest interest rate. If you are free, just read around and also just check the bank website. They always give you the latest rates. All this is very open nowadays. Okay, just remember your time to refinance. Refinance is doing with another bank. Imagine now you are with bank A, you refinance to bank B. Okay, repricing is doing with the same bank. Let's say today you are with bank A, you do a repricing, then you do, it's called repricing. So some of the things to take note, waiver of fees. You might want to ask, you never ask, you never know. If there's, you reprice with the same bank, you see whether is there a possibility of doing a waiver of the fee, especially there's an admin fee. But if you do a repricing from bank A to bank B, there will be a need for legal fee because they need to do all these things again. Okay, all the TDSR, all this. So just bear in mind on this. So far, so good. Okay, so let's go back to, let's go on. The other one. Some of the things that, this is uniquely Singapore that I mentioned. This is something like to do with your expectation. And on the ground, it's actually very realistic. Okay, I will be more towards a pragmatic approach. Okay, nowadays, due to the loan to value issue, okay, this loan to value. So imagine you are in a BUC project or in a newly completed TOP project. Landlord 1 is having a 75% loan, first property, taking a 75% loan. Second property, landlord 2 is actually taking this as a second property. They are having a second property housing loan, which is 45%. So similarly for landlord 3, this is their third or fourth property. So their loan, the maximum they can get is only 35%. So you can see the difference is actually first loan is 75%. Okay, their loan amount, okay, this is based on 1.5%, 2% interest rate and tenure of 30 years. So you see the loan amount for landlord 1, they are loaning 1.125, but the installment will be 4,002. Okay, but landlord 2, 45% loan, their loan amount is only 675. Their installment will be 2,005. So imagine you are landlord 1. Somebody give you $4,000 rental offer. Would you take it? If let's say yes, you type a Y. If let's say no, you just type a no in the chat box. If you are landlord 1, 4,002 installment, somebody give you an offer $4,000 per month, would you take the offer? If yes, you type a Y. If no, you type a no. Type an N. Thank you, Swan. Thank you, Joanne. So you see, yes, in market rental. Thank you, Chu. So that's basically, if let's say you are first time landlord, this happened to many first time landlord. Most of the time they will not take it. If this is the very first offer of $4,000, they will just try to match it to their installment value. So they will tend to hold on first because they don't know what's happening. Okay, they just want their rental to cover their installment. But let's twist around. Okay, if let's say you are landlord 2 in the same project, maybe this landlord 2 stay below you. Same offer 4,000. Will they take it? What do you think? If you think yes, type a Y. If you are landlord 2, now you become landlord 2, $4,000. Why not? Just grab it, right? 4,000, I will get a passive income of 1,005. So imagine you are in a 1,000 unit project. Now rental market is on the upside. okay, then you don't tend to have this issue. But imagine things can go up, things can come down. So depending on the expectation. So what if I'm a landlord 3? Imagine I get 4,000 rental, straight away I just take it. Okay, but once the supply and demand is balanced, so would the landlord 1 get a higher rental? May or may not. Okay, the rental may go up, the rental may come down. So that's the thing. You need to, something that we need to manage is our expectation. But all these behind figures is actually due to the uniquely Singapore lah. I mean, only Singapore will have this loan to value. First property loan, housing loan, you get 75%. Second property loan, you get 45%. So you actually have different expectation when you are a landlord. So this one is something that you need to take note of. You need to manage. Okay, as long as the renter is at the market value, which is market value is very vague. Okay, so you need to really know what is the transacted price. If you have engaged a real estate sales person, they actually can give you the report to show that how much the rental contract is being done. So you need to analyze whether yes or no. But if you do not know what's happening behind the screen, you don't know how these figures is worked out, you can't make a better choice or a better decision. So the more information you have, you need to analyze and you need to use it to your advantage. Okay? So take away, set realistic expectation. If the market is all asking at $4,000, then you want $5,000. Is it realistic? You can set whatever price you want, but the market will actually tell you what is the expectation or what is the realistic figure that to be done. Unless the demand is very high, the supply is very, very limited, then you can try to get a higher pricing. But if let's say you are in a market of like 1,000 brand new projects or even 500, more than 50% is out for rental at the same time, same price, or you can say same size, same type, same facing, you'll be under a lot of pressure, especially if let's say you need to so-called pay the mortgage, all this. Okay, set realistic expectation. Keep the unit rental. What I meant is sometimes when you're doing renewal, okay, you might want to push for a higher price. So you tend to say, never mind, let the tenant go and you find a new tenant. If the market is only just a few $100 different, you might really want to consider to keep the same tenant there, especially if they are a good tenant. To me, the priority is always tenant first, second, the highest price, then this will actually make a very good equation. If let's say the tenant does not take care of your place, okay, and they also, how do I say, if they don't take care of your place, even you're getting the highest rental, bear in mind when you take back, you need to use some money to go and rectify the place, do some A&E to make it very nice, clean, before you can rent to the next person. So is it worth the hassle? So you really need to set a realistic expectation and also try to find the best tenant. Okay, all this is it depends, because we only seen the tenant maybe for the first time. Okay, after that we need to really shortlist them based on their pricing, also based on their profile. So whatever you can do is to keep them intact, and hopefully they can take care of the unit as good as the other owner. Okay, so far so good. So looking at this, we are coming to the upcoming trend. So what you can see is actually nowadays we have all this upcoming trend. I just want to see whether what you are looking at, is it what we are looking at. Okay, so question, do you know what is the upcoming economic trend? Key 1, if let's say you know. Key 2, yes. And what is the trend? What is the upcoming trend nowadays? If you know about the next upcoming economic trend, just key 1 for yes, for no, and work from home. That's a nice one. But work from home, what type of industry? Maybe you can just plug some. If let's say you have key yes, maybe you just pop up some words. What is the, or you can see from here. I mean, from the picture, you can see some of the answer. The previous answer. Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you, Philip. Inflation, hybrid working mode, all this, yeah. So I just give you some tips on that. Okay, the previous economic trend is the gig economy. Gig economy referring to those that they just work from everywhere in the world. Because even you want to go to a cafe or you go to any place, you actually can, you still can work. It's more like gig economy. Recession, high interest rate. Personal feel. I'm the more people talk about it, would it happen? Yes and no. So you need to really make your own judgment. Okay, no, this is just my own angle of looking at this trend. So it might not be the answer that you're looking at, but previously it's the gig economy. Nowadays is what is next? Star economy. Okay, what is star economy? If let's say the whole worldwide star economy nowadays with the TikToks, Instagram, YouTube, everybody can be a star instantly. Okay, last time you want to become a movie star, you want to become a music, you want to be a star in the media, you need to go through different type of things. But nowadays, if you want to become an instant star, you can just by a video clip, you can be, tomorrow everybody know you already. I mean, lately you can see lots of video clips. I think second link, you can see the lady, or I mean, that's one of them. So you can become an instant household name because of media. That's why when you have all this star economy, you need to look back who is operating all this star economy. All these social media company like BitDance, which operating TikTok, Tencent, all these are coming in. So all this will actually, there's a relationship between the what we know for economic, so that we'll know what type of tenant we are expecting. Okay, the second one, I think nowadays, last year I actually missed out on this, is this one. It's actually the sharing economy. Okay, what we have picked up is actually sharing economy. Nowadays, do you find that lots of we are very open now. Last time, if let's say you talk about you want to go up, you want to sit into a car driven by a stranger, it's only the taxi. But nowadays, you can just sit in any car driven by a Grab driver, then you just hop on. People don't buy, the youngster nowadays, the generation Y, Z, whatever you call it, Z, they are very open to sharing. So they also know about all this, like sharing in the sense is that, let's say they buy a bag. When they do not use it, they just want to let it be used by somebody else. So they don't mind to share out those things. So what you can see is actually nowadays, lots of this is coming up. Okay, why I talk about star economy and also sharing economy is because this will lead us to the next one, the type of tenant coming in. In the old days, I think number one, numbers of aspects coming in, number of tenants coming in will be those aspects with employment pass. So now employment pass coming in might be 1 year, 2 year. So where are they from? Maybe from China, Indian. Then they are all working in the IT. So it actually supported all the star economy, sharing economy. But previously what you are looking at is like Japanese, Koreans, they are doing construction. So nowadays very few of them. So even in the financial sector, maybe some European or US coming in, they are getting limited. Okay, the second one you can see is actually parents accompanying their children for education purpose. It can lead to another one that is local family. They just sold off their HDB. They are waiting for their BUC to be completed. So they shifted somewhere else that's near their kids for own school. So these are the few tenant base that you are looking at. Nowadays you can see if you have a listing, you have a rental listing, you put up, it's either there's lots of tenants asking for the unit itself, and they don't mind even to pay even before seeing. So it leads to the scammer that come and scam those tenants that to pay deposit upfront. So all this you all need to know about that. Okay. Of course, the temporary stay, some of the guys, especially nowadays youngster, they do not want to stay with their parents anymore. They are more like Western thinking. They want to, after they reach a certain age, they want to have their own comfort zone. They just want to shift it up. Okay, so they might go and look for those room rental or co-living, which I will be touching on the few slides later. Okay, so remember, type of tenant, shorter lease duration, value-added service. So what we are looking at, shorter lease duration, is most of them coming in is on a 1 year pass, and they are looking like 1 year short term. After that, they either renew the pass or they just fly to another country for the similar job, but the company actually attach them to different company. Now it's more worldwide. The world becomes so small, they actually fly around. Okay, value-added service is when you are taking towards the co-living. A lot of them will actually give you much more value-added service. Similarly, like a community living, which they give you like free Wi-Fi, or they give you seminar that people like to stay together as a community. So that's one of them. Okay, this is interesting. This is only for Singapore. Anybody know this? CPF Bishan building. So I just want to know. First is anybody use CPF for their monthly installment? If you are using CPF for your money installment, please type a Y. If you are not using CPF, type a no. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Tom. Andy, thank you. Sharon, thank you. Okay, then the next question will be this one. Could you refund the CPF housing amount you withdraw without selling your house? If yes, key 2. If no, key 1. Could you refund the CPF housing amount you withdrawn without selling your home? That's good. I think more CPF is first question is I think you must ask yourself whether you believe in CPF. That's good. That's good. I can see. Thank you, Mary. So if I think the question is, do you believe in CPF? And for my personal view is, myself, I believe in CPF, and I think CPF the main purpose, or you can see the original purpose still there, is to serve for your retirement purpose. If let's say it's used for housing, it's just temporarily. If you can, do not use any CPF if possible for any housing purchase. That's not easy. But if you have used any CPF for installment or for down payment, you actually can refund the CPF housing amount that you have withdrawn without selling the house. A lot of people, or you can say nowadays CPF done a good job in education. That means educating all the members itself that you actually do not need to sell. You can any one time you can just click the button, you can just refund some of the money, or you can refund in full into your CPF amount. So this is the thing. So you actually can, I'm not selling. How can you make a voluntary? You can just refund any amount, even $1, $50, $100, or even the maximum amount, you can just refund it. You do not need to sell. So if let's say anybody said that, hey, no, you need to sell, then you can actually take back all the CPF amount. Then you tell them this is not correct. And you can just do it by just scanning the QR code to CPF website. You actually can refund. So why I say that? Because CPF is giving you, OA is giving you 2.5. If you're using the CPF amount money to go and pay for your monthly mortgage, CPF will charge you 2.5 for using the money. Then you go and pay the other side, which is charging you 3.3% for the interest rate. So if you can have cash, of course, you just use your cash to pay for the monthly mortgage. but then you cut down on the CPF amount. So whatever money that you have cut down in your CPF amount usage, go back to your CPF account. CPF board will give you the 2.5% interest. So which is better? Would you want to draw something out? You pay for your own interest, or you want somebody to pay for your interest? I mean CPF to pay for your interest. If you have put into the SA, you can even get 4%. But if you go back to the OA, you get 2.5. Okay, so which is better? You need to decide. Okay, so lots of Singaporeans, I think main thing is whether first is you believe in CPF. So if there's no wrong. If you don't believe, then I mean you will tend to use up all the CPF that you have to pay for the housing. But it's real money. Whatever CPF you use to pay for the property is money used. So you say you don't believe, it's also, I also don't know what to say. Okay, but the thing is, I would rather somebody pay for my interest on my money rather than I go and pay the interest on my own money that is used, especially for your CPF. So far, so good. Okay, so key takeaway, reduce or stop CPF usage. Refund your CPF housing amount to stop the accrued interest from increasing. So I think during early this year, we have went for an interview with Money FM. So they talk about those negative sales. When you sell your HDB, the money that is going to refund into your CPF amount is negative and you are shortfall. So would the HDB or would the CPF ask you to top up? That's another big topic. So this one is something for you to think about it. Okay, so coming to the last few parts, most important is I think everybody just remember, nobody have the magic ball. Whether the price will go up, price will go down, economic crisis. So I think the thing is not about what will be happening or what have happened. It's the way how we going to react when such thing happen. You know what I mean? We can't control the big market. I mean, there's epidemic, there's economic crisis, recession, all this come. But what we can do is to adjust our attitude towards how we handle this situation. If if really there's a recession, how are we going to do? Should we be more prudent, or should we do something, cutting down the cost, all this, to adapt to this situation? Look at the positive side. But if let's say, if we are thinking towards the negative side, then I think a lot of things will not be happening. Okay, so during the last talk, I talked about these two upcoming trends. First is is talk about as Singapore going into a more aging nation, there's a lot of things that is coming up, especially for the old folks, healthcare itself. So this is happening during 2020 when there's a land parcel that's given out at the Sembawang. Government wanted actually to do as a dementia village. Okay, one of the consortium actually bid for it, but government feel that the price given is too low. Okay, so this is one of the things. So you look at the aging nation, you look at that a lot of old folks, especially their healthcare, all this is coming up. Okay, second is the sharing economy. That's why I said the co-living operator is up and coming. Nowadays, you have any exclusive renter. You can see most of the tenant that is inquiry is actually from all these co-living operators. Okay, I give you an example. First, this is something happening. Okay, so you see what we have looked into it. We've done a guesstimation that they combine the co-living nowadays with the old folks. Okay, so this is some of the news articles that you can look at. HDB flats to be turned into assisted living units. So one of the lady actually, one of the ma'am have actually rent out their own unit. Then they move into another unit so that they have caregiver as their co-living partner, so that they have 3 old ladies and also 2 caregiver that is actually staying with them. First is they can have some income on their rental units. Second, they will have actually company and also somebody that actually can look out for them. So this is actually best of both worlds. This article is pretty interesting, and I think this is the upcoming trend that's going to be very valid in our society today. So you actually can scan the 2 QR code on the right side. You can read about it. Then moving forward, this is for the co-living. So if things are not regulated, things are not so-called put into perspective, a lot of things might go out of the boundary. So this is happened during May 2022, just about 2 months ago. 57 years, man being fined $1.158 million, okay, for illegally subletting 14 private homes. So they do it for Airbnb. So that's why government came in and cramped down all this very hard. And of course, being a real estate agent, they have all the lobangs, they have all the listing, they can see much more faster than anybody else. But the thing is now, lots of co-living operator, they are so-called inspiring co-living operator. They might be just a new startup. They just also want to do the same thing. So that's the worrying part on that, what we are seeing. So you can see that all URA statements say that rented out for subjected to 3-month consecutive month. So bear in mind, this one is 3-month consecutive month for the renter itself. So unauthorized short-term accommodation frequency will actually have a higher turnover. So this will cause so-called, it might cause disturbance to the neighbors and also fair and tear in your unit. But just bear in mind, the second one is when asked, this one is interesting. URA spokesperson referred to the website saying that property owners who fail to exercise due diligence to safeguard their property against such misuse will also be held responsibility. So bear in mind, if let's say you rent out, you also need to sometimes do some checks on the unit itself. If let's say you suspect something is not going right in your unit, please highlight. If not, at the end of the day, there might be a chance that you are being held responsibility also. Okay. So imagine this is one of our unit we have just rented. So do you think this 3-bedroom is suitable for co-living operator? If let's say no, just key 1. If let's say yes, key 2. Or anyone is co-living operator here. Very similar. I'll touch on 2. Okay. So if you think that this is suitable, this one is the perfect for co-living operator. They would just like to find similar unit like this. Based on my view, they like to find these units, especially master bedroom. You can rent out bedroom 2, bedroom 3, and straight away they will ask you. They will actually create another room in the living and dining room. They might create 1, they might create 2. This one, if you rent to a typical family, the highest rental we got is $5,000 per month. But if you are a co-living operator, how much do you think you can generate the figure from this unit? Make a wild guess since you are tapping in. If you are the co-living operator, you found this unit, you willing to rent 5,000 from the landlord. How much do you think, how much value can you still exert out from this? Wow, 10,000. So some of the question actually will come back to you, don't worry. So I just do a rough guess because you see, let's say master bedroom, I rent $2,000. Bedroom 3, bedroom 2, I rent 1,500. So that will become 5,000. So whatever I can carve out from living dining, if let's say I can carve out 2 units, I rent at 1,200 or 1,200. I think it will be much more realistic. You can get passive about maybe about 2,000 plus. So nowadays, not only the co-living operator is finding units like this and renting from you, some of the even normal Singaporean, they want to do this business. They will just tell you that they are the co-living operator. They want to rent and sublet. They want to find units like this to create a business and create the passive income. So just bear in mind, if let's say you have units, you tend to have this type of inquiries, especially for this unit. I have received easily 50, out of 50, maybe about 35 or 30 is from co-living operator. So they come from all sorts size, big one, small one, everyone just look out for that. Yes, the maximum 6 occupant applies. 1 bedroom, master bedroom, maybe 2 person, bedroom 3, 1 person, bedroom 2, 1 person, living dining 1. You still can just nice for the 6 person. Okay. So we need to move on. I think we are almost there. So just remember elderly and youth co-living. In Taiwan, the very first time Taiwan started off this, in the early stage, a youngster will actually co-living with one elderly folks. So because the elderly folks will want to like rent out one of the room, and the youngster just happen to be in town, they want to have a cheap rental. So they also can help to look out for the old folks itself. So this is what's happening. Co-living evolved back into subletting business. Room rental, some touch on fast one. Room rental is like you are one of the landlord. Landlord is still taking charge. You do subletting room rental, 1, 2, 3, then that's it. Okay, you might want to provide aircon servicing, you provide free Wi-Fi. But co-living is a very so-called like a atas word. Okay, but what they are doing, professionally doing, is actually providing a community living lifestyle, so that they will create like events, activity among all the occupants for seminar like this, or even they will have some activities doing together. So they give you much more value added service, or even laundry service, or all this. So it depending on a membership. So you can take a co-living membership. You can stay for previous one for a certain period. Then you think that, hey, I need to shift. I just shifted to east side to the co-living occupant. I stay there again. Then a few months later, I shift to the west side. So it's totally a different ball game. So that one, you need to be scalability. You need to scale up big so that you can actually get more benefit on that. Room rental is you have your own unit, you sublet out, you maximize the rental returns. But bear in mind, end of the day, you need to take care of all the tenant, or you can say all the occupant issue, the good and bads. Yep. So yeah, we come to the question and answer. I think just nice 1 hour. So it's a very compact one. So don't worry, just enjoy the session. I think the Zoom session is going to be recorded, and we actually put up to our YouTube channel. You can just refresh, or there will be some link later on. I will actually give you my contacts and also some of the figures that you actually can look out on. So I will take 3 questions from here. I think just due to the time constraint. Is it good?
Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you reading off from the chat, or would you like?
Yeah, if let's say you have any question, you can just type into the chat. Some of the questions I've answered. Let me see.
What the living rental rules in Malaysia, are they the same as Singapore?
Malaysia is unique. Malaysia, if I went to one Malaysia property guru. If let's say I don't know whether is it good to talk about that here. The guru have a very rah-rah training course. I went for that course in Malaysia. The course name is Die with Massive Debts. So if let's say you know who is the trainer, then you can just Google. But yes and no. Malaysia they can do Airbnb. Most of the property they buy, they actually do Airbnb. I think Malaysia, personal opinion, they have a lot of things they can have a lot of things to figure out. It's not like Singapore, very strict. You have your own sets of rules to play with. Malaysia, you have lots of things to play with. So that one you need to put aside. And that one on a personal note, then we need to talk about that. So totally different Malaysia and Singapore. The co-living or the rental regulation is all different.
You've answered some, right?
Yeah, answer some.
Questions.
Co-living not allowed in HDB, that's for sure. HDB are not allowed to do co-living. But they are the one article that I write on, they actually doing some similar scheme for the old folks in the HDB unit. So that one is an interesting article that you can read on. Let me retract back. This one on the left side. So you actually can HDB flats be turned into assisted living units?
Yeah, the other one is co-living versus subletting.
Subletting, co-living, so you must remember co-living is actually a community living that actually they will rent the rooms to different occupants. But the thing is co-living will actually give you much more value. Those big boys are doing is actually give you much more value. Let's say I'm a member. Let's say I'm a member of this co-living space. I can stay in, let's say take example, stay in Bukit Merah in this co-living condo. Then every month or every week, the co-living community will actually provide like seminar activities, like bonding session among all their members. So they're actually giving much more value-added service out of the box. Not only the house, they are actually promoting all the community. That means, let's say you stay in their community, you become their tribe member. So they will give you lots of different things. But subletting is just that, hey, I have a 3-room flat. I just rent one unit, 1 room to 1 person, 3 rooms to 3 different person. That's it. I don't give you like all this committee, all these activities, stuff like this. So it's an upgraded version, if you can say that.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I think the second question, I think there's one is, may I know on your take, would you prefer fixed interest rate or floating rate? Okay, this one for myself, okay, if let's say you say at any situation, I will always just one thing to remember. Would you want to sleep soundly at night? That means without thinking of anything for the next 2 years or 3 years that you are getting fixed, or you want to have some spikes in your life, you can say that. If you prefer to have you prefer to have sleep soundly at night, don't care about what happened to the world, the fixed rate will be there. So it's a double-edged thing. So you want stability, you need to pay for that stability. Okay, if let's say you want to take the 2.75 for 2 years or 3 years, right? These 3 years, no matter what happened to the world, you're still paying 2.75. But what you can do is actually plan based on these 3 years or 2 years, your rental, because rental is normally 2 years. Your installment is also, if you fix 2 years, these 2 years, your amount is already fixed. You can decide what to do with the excess money that you have. But if let's say the rental is 2 years is fixed, and the installment interest rate 2 years is not fixed, it's a floating one, then you need to bear with the uncertainty. And also bear in mind, tenancy agreement 2 years, they might break this. So tomorrow, if they are being postponed back, they need to break this or they run away, everything become uncertainty. Then you have double whammy. Interest rate not fixed, interest rates went up, your tenant run away, then you will have nightmare in the night. So if you ask me if I have a choice, I will just take a fixed rate. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the last question, I think before we end. So as a landlord, can I operate co-living myself, pro and con? It's not only the co-living as yourself, because the co-living operator are looking for landlords. If you are renting to a normal family, maybe 5,000, I rent for you 5,500, I will use as a co-living. But all the responsibility is put into the operator. But if you want to do that business as a co-living business, you need to really know what you want to do, what to do. Because you see, at the end of the day, you are not just providing services. One thing, you are like giving free Wi-Fi, electric bills, but you need to come up with programs, how to turn all these occupants to become your tribe member, to your co-living tribe member. So it's not a very just instantly just like a subletting business. A lot of them did not able to scale up. It's because they don't have the enough rental units and they don't have the enough member. But you see, like Hamlet, all these, they have done very successfully. They have already upped the trend. So they have lots of activity for their member to come together as a bonding session, education seminar, all this. They feel proud to be one of them in that committee. Not about staying in that particular room rental or that particular room that they are staying in. They become part of the committee that allows more so-called more activities to be given. Hope you answered the question. And of course, once you give co-living, the thing is you tend to have more people staying in. But like what I said, the responsibility go back to the co-living operator. Whatever you give them, by right, they should give you back. Fair wear and tear is there. It's just that it couldn't be like the whole unit is being trashed down.
Okay.
So moving forward, then I think I have some just key takeaway question and answer. Okay, I mean more topics and also more information can be found in my book. If let's say you want to order online, just feel free scan the QR code, or you can just pop by Kinokuniya, Popular. You actually can find this book. Title is Landlord Club, and this is actually based on my real life experience that I've so-called encountered with all the landlord, especially those that have use very pragmatic approach and also very real life approach to go and handle their tenant or even their mortgages or this. Okay, so you can scan the QR code, and of course we need to stay in touch. So to form the committee, I think if you'd like to be updated with all the latest real estate news every day, you can just join my Telegram chat room. You can just scan the QR code and instantly you can be in, and I actually provide much more like news article, news update, so that you can give you much more information, so that in the future, if you are in any situation, you need to make a decision. With all this information, you can do a better decision that allow you to actually maximize your property returns. So just scan the QR code. Yeah, later I can put the link there.
On that note, we also have your book in our collection, Mr. Boon.
Yeah.
In case they are curious what they want to find out what's inside, what's the content. Let me share you some of the ebooks as well.
Yeah, sure.
We have on the topic.
I need to stop share, right?
Yeah. Okay. So so these are the first one will be Mr. Boon's book, but it's a printed copy you can get from the national libraries and the branches, and the others are actually e-copies or e-books or on the same or related topics. Don't worry if you can't scan the QR code or get the web links, or the links are actually found in the chat. I've actually typed all the links for our e-resources at the beginning, so you can scroll up to the top of the chat to find the links. We also have some e-learning courses on rental income properties and real estate investments. If you're curious to check them out, they are at the Udemy Business website, also from National Library.